Okay, what up, friendos? Welcome back. We're talking today
It's
about
44
Ashes of
minutes.
Creation. This is a topic that's long overdue. There's some news here that's going to tie everything together, but specifically, I recorded a video about Ashes and Steven and Steven's
This guy talks
reputation
so
and
much.
some things I wanted to clear up and my opinion on Ashes in general about 2 months ago. And I meant to release it, but originally I sent it to Steven to be like, these are some very serious things I'm talking about. Have a look at it. Tell me if there's anything you think is objectively, factually untrue. Tell me if you have any comment on this that you want to get out into the public and things of that nature. And when I got his notes back, we had a conversation, and I just never got around to like re-editing the video to include all of his stuff. And I just figured, why bother, right? I don't really have anything to do with Ashes anymore, and there's nothing really relevant going on right now other than a little bit of drama in the community. So I'll just not get involved. I'll just leave it as is. But since it is popular today to talk about Ashes of Creation due to the news that just came out, I figured let's do that video again and let's talk about it, because I am kind of sick of the narrative on social media being so slanted in one direction or another. Nobody doing any fact checking, everyone just repeating whatever they want to believe, and then other people upvoting them and spreading these lies or these rumors or denying things that are objectively true. So I figured I'd come in, bring the receipts, tell you exactly what the case is, and then you can make your own determination instead of listening to people on social media who have a reason.
My determination is that I would not play the game
so the
anyway.
news here is that Ashes of Creation is releasing on Steam Early Access on December 11th, 2025, so next month.
Less than a month from now.
This is a good idea. We're going to specifically go over this, as well as why I don't think it's a good idea, a little bit later in the video. But
Having
first,
a sub too is
people's reaction to this
crazy.
and the general idea of who Steven is and what
They're releasing
Steven
an alpha
has
game
done, more
with a
importantly.
sub.
Because people are of the opinion that Steven is the worst person on the planet and he's a piece of shit scammer who essentially went to people having chemotherapy for cancer and tried to sell them a miracle drug, like the classic snake oil salesman just preying on the weak and ruining people's lives.
Huh?
And that didn't happen. And I think some people posting this, if you were a public figure, you'd be getting sued, rightfully so, because you're saying some crazy shit with no fucking fact checking whatsoever.
That's fucking
But
insane.
also, there are people on the other side that are saying Steven did nothing at all, ever. Steven's the best person. Steven has addressed this. All he did was this little thing, and it's not a big deal. So let's actually get into the reality of
Okay,
things,
let's
shall we?
see what we're gonna
This
get
person
here.
posts, the only MMO I genuinely wish to completely fail. Steven is a scam artist. He deserves no success. And then, of course, people are like, as always, whenever this comes up, people are saying, what's he done? You know, what's really happened? And then this guy comes in, 140 net upvotes, which means people have upvoted this
Network
more than they
marketing
downvoted it, to
and
the point where
Muslims.weebly.com.
this is a relatively high comment. And he's
Okay.
wrong. If you go to this link, you'll see that Steven Sharif and his family, the Sharif family,
Network
are on there.
marketing and
SharifFamily.com,
Muslims.
$7 million earned
.weebly.com.
present company Zango. This is undoubtedly true. Like, nobody's going to deny this. So he then says, Steven used to run an MLM company. Not really true, but kind of true. And sell juice
I
to
don't know what
cancer
MLM
patients
is.
for the sole purpose of curing their cancer. This didn't happen. This is what's called in the legal world defamation. If you were a public figure, you should probably be sued for this, because there is no fucking charitability in this sentence that you could read it and be like, this is
Okay.
true-ish. Like, it's
Wait,
mostly
what?
wrong. There's so much controversy surrounding the
True-ish?
guy that you could literally just Google his name. It's a shame you didn't do that, mate, because if you did, you'd probably have an idea of what you're talking about. And obviously,
But
people
I
love
never
this.
Google
Nobody's
his name.
fact-checking it. It's like what I talked about not long ago with the Ion 2 thing, where people just see something, say something, repeat the thing, nobody fact checks, everyone upvotes it, and then that becomes the truth. Because why would it not? There's nobody pushing back on it, other than the delusional people. And let me just be very clear. Ashes of Creation, one of the reasons I stopped covering the game originally is because the community is fucking insufferable. It's one of the worst communities I've ever experienced. It makes Star Citizen look reasonable, right?
Really?
Some of the firsts in content creation for me was taken. My virginity was taken by Ashes of Creation, because I'd make a video being like, yeah, I don't like this. I think it's bad. I don't agree that Steven's doing the greatest things here. I don't think Steven's the best thing since sliced bread. And it was the first ever time I'd like release a video and then go live on my Twitch stream.
FOMO.
And then somebody would show up from Ashes of Creation, one of the community
you
members,
mean FOMO?
And repeatedly tell me they wanted me to die. And say some incredibly personal things that I talked about in videos that they could only know if they'd watched a bunch of my videos and knew a lot about me. And then I'd ban them and they'd keep coming back over and over again for months and just harassing the fuck out of me for no reason other than I said I didn't.
My identity is Ashes of Creation player.
In this video. And it was the first ever time a content creator.
You're attacking me personally.
Tried to come at me.
You're trying to kill me by trying to kill the game.
While us never having a conversation ever. Like they just have.
Whoever wants the game to fail is attempting murder on me.
Like that. There are still some of those
I will defend myself with my life.
And they turn on the people very quickly when things don't go their way because that's the kind of people they are.
Really?
And I think Steven is experiencing this now because the community is very much at his throat. The people
them
used
about
to
the
defend him
spamming
for everything and lie and misrepresent and call everyone else a liar and a hater. A lot of those people now are against Steven, so it's kind of backfired in a way, having this super hardcore fan base. But why I say that
lower.
This doesn't reflect on Steven personally.
I
don't think it's his fault.
Are you trying to murder me right now?
Kind of like golden god, or at least they used to. The reason I say that is because on one hand you have these fucking deranged haters who make things up like this guy and just put it into the
This is not peeking. I'm peeking. What's speaking here? Who's what? Not peeking. Oh, I am. What's speaking here? I'm peeking as hell. Where do I go to filters? Where? Shit, I don't remember how to do this. I don't know. What if I do this? Trying. This. Trying. What am I doing? What am I doing? Peek. Trying. What am I doing? Peek. Okay, if I really try to peek, it peaks a bit. I can lower it a little bit more. Okay. Testing. Peek. Testing. Peek. Okay. Testing. I'm never gonna talk like that. Should be fine.
Public domain is.
Thank you for letting me know.
And that's incredibly wrong to do. And then on the other hand, you have these like cultish fanboys who will say the exact opposite. Will say nothing happened. He didn't do anything. Like this is all completely incorrect, devoid of any context or nuance. And obviously, the truth is somewhere in the middle. Like you can see this guy here. He's one of the people. Dude had an online shop that sold a ton of shit. True.
Make the bot not spam.
Was one of the things. Yeah, it's not like the guy was recruiting people to sell it. Which is how an MLM works. Yeah,
try this.
Sad fucks in here act like they disown their moms for selling Avon. Lol, not the same thing even remotely. I guess that makes you the sad fuck. Or because they can't afford the beta entry. So his issue is everyone's lying about it because they don't have $100 to spend on
less spammy now.
Lol, you're poor. That's why you hate this.
Poor.
Which is fucking moronic to say the least. Worth noting, Sharon is his mom. Yet, so the provided document is lumping them both together when it's really his mom who's seeded in MLM. So is Steven. So is his whole family. I guess whole family might be hyperbolic, but his immediate family, they are all involved in MLM.
What?
Probably still are to this day. I've not checked in on it, so take that with a pinch of salt. But I remember seeing a couple of years
multi-level
ago,
marketing
still involved in this. So of course, people are coming in to push back on this by again being factually wrong. He ran an MLM that sold cancer curing juice to cancer patients.
It could be scam or not.
Let's cut through the noise. Let's get to the nitty gritty. Get to the facts. What did Steven actually do?
It's sauce. According
to Steven ran a website called the Sharif Family or something like that, which the domain is still active. but you're not going to find anything on Wayback Machine or anything for this to fact check any of these claims. I've tried. Maybe somebody that's better at that can find it and let me know. But basically, he ran a website in the early 2000s where he was selling a bunch of nutritional stuff, one of them being Zango. What is Zango? Zango is a company that is a problem, in my opinion. And if you had anything to do with this, you're not clean in any way. I guess we'll get into that in a second. But Stephen is quoted factually as saying this. Asked by Massively OP, people are talking about your background, and while some of it appears baseless, Sharif himself has admitted that they formerly participated in a non-gaming multi-level marketing business before moving on to real estate. He characterized that company as legal. Detractors are saying it was tantamount to a scam. What he says is when I was 18, I was recruited to join an MLM company called Zango. Who recruited him? His mother. His mother recruited him to Zango. Zango sold nutritional...
That is a really weird way to say. I worked at my mom's company. Who the fuck says it like that? I was recruited to join an MLM company. True. No one says it like that. Who would say it like that? Someone who doesn't want to say, I worked at my mom's company. He doesn't want to say that because why? Because working for your mom is cringe and makes you a small man? Was recruited to join. I mean, I guess that's it. But okay, it doesn't feel right.
Products,
it doesn't sit well with me.
I started a website store to sell these products to customers. My website was very successful. Zango is still around today as a company after 14 years. I think has done over 3 billion in sales and is open in 50 plus countries. Yes,
that's a lot of billions.
Marketing. I understand people dislike MLM because some companies focus on recruitment of people instead of sales as a product. But companies like Avon, blah 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 blah, basically defended multi-level marketing. Now, I want to just contradict Stephen here. Because
is multi-level marketing ever not just I got scammed by that shit working for that. I worked for a few months selling vacuum cleaners, really good vacuum cleaners by the way, premium stuff. The product was amazing, but then the people so like whatever we did to the customers, it was great. No scam there. But to us selling, they just kept my fucking money. They just took it. They just took my fucking sales. I don't know exactly how much they would owe me. I don't know. Money. And that it was not accidental. It was not any sort of mismanagement. It was nothing error. It was planned. It was systematic. That's what they do. They just take your fucking money and then they don't even fire you because they don't have to. They don't have to fire you. Not that you're necessarily even a worker there. I don't think you even are part of the company. You're probably just considered as what would you call it? Probably not even no, probably not that. You're freelance or who knows, something like that. So there's no firing. They don't give you work, they don't pay you, and then you leave. And then they keep your money, and that's it. That's what they do. And I was introduced to some other things like that, but I didn't stay at all. And I can't think of something like this that would not be either just flat out a scam or very suspicious. Why would you do multi-level marketing? Yeah, maybe that's the question. Why? If not to take advantage of people, then why? The system that they use, it does incentivize the people who are to be the best and put in the work. Typically, anyway, you sell the most, you really get fucking rewarded. At least typically, you recruit people that sell, you get rewarded. So what would be the point? The point would be to save on you doing recruiting yourself. That doesn't add up to me. I don't know. I don't know. I can't think of any MLM that wouldn't be a scam. I don't know, but I can't think of one.
What
I don't know.
describing here is a pyramid scheme, right? If you Google this, like, I've covered scams in the financial world for a long time as well on the main channel. If you've never watched that content, multi-level marketing scheme, pyramid scheme. These two things are almost functionally identical, except for one factor. Multi-level marketing schemes remain legal in most of the Western world. In most of the
I
world,
don't know what the difference is.
Because they have a product that they sell.
Unless, I guess, they pay you properly anyway.
Focus on that product. As soon as they focus on recruitment only, and the product is like just there as a front, the product is like kind of a scam because it's too expensive, or they just don't care about selling it. And it's
funny that he mentions expensive. Can you see that? You see that over there? You see that? That thing? Wait. 1 second. Kirby vacuum market price. It's over $2,000. I didn't buy it for $2,000. I bought it for like $1,000. I don't remember exactly. Why? Because I know how much they pay to make one. And, or better put, I know how much they buy from the factory for, or whatever. It's a vacuum cleaner. It's not just a vacuum cleaner. It also can wash carpets, and you can use it to vacuum beds, and it's just a lot. It does a lot. It's not just a floor vacuum cleaner. It does basically any cleaning that you need that doesn't involve fluids except carpet. But it's expensive. It is.
Mostly about just recruiting people in ad nauseum to kick money back up to you from the recruitment fees. That's when it becomes an illegal pyramid scheme. That is the only factor. Not to say that you can't be somebody in an MLM who focuses on recruitment predominantly, and therefore it being functionally identical, other than the main company doesn't focus on.
Why would you have an MLM and just get random people off the street to do the recruiting for you? Most of them, they don't stick around. Most of them don't recruit anyone at all. Why would you go through that instead of just hiring people to recruit, which could be, depending on the size of the company, could be 1 or 2 people? What would be the purpose except for just scamming people? I can't think of what the reason would be.
Recruiting people only. That is the differentiator. So when he says, I understand people dislike MLM because some companies focus on recruitment of people instead of sales of a product, what he's describing there is a pyramid scheme. If they focus on the recruitment, it's a pyramid scheme, which is... By
the way, to justify a little bit more, or to explain the price of the vacuum and why it actually makes sense, it's basically the most powerful you'll find. Not basically, it is. It's just the most powerful in terms of sucking power. And it doesn't have a lifetime warranty for the entirety of it. Actually, it's not a lifetime anything. The engine it has, I forget if it was 25 or 30 years of warranty. And the other parts are like 2 years or something. So like the engine, it was 25 or 30 years warranty. So the product is really good. The price of the product makes sense.
Illegal. A multi-level marketing scheme is, again, functionally identical other than they sell a product mostly. But obviously, if you're recruiting, these things are incredibly predatory. Do some people earn a lot of money? Yeah. Are some of them legit? The products that they sell, maybe, but by and large, they are just garbage you could buy anywhere else, and it is very cultish. Like multi-level marketing is predatory and cultish, and it's bad.
A complete
People
fucking
don't like
cult.
these for good reason.
It is,
right?
I can confirm.
When Steven says when he was 18,
fucking
if you look
weird.
Steven's age up.
It's like
Steven
going to a
was
very weird
working
fucking
with Zango,
church.
selling their
It really
products
fucking
at a
is.
time where Zango was basically being investigated for essentially selling themselves as a drug. Because Zango was claiming things like this. 2006 warning letter by US FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, had illegally used marketing materials to promote mangosteen juice, claiming more than 20 human health benefits, including antifungal, antiviral, anti-cancer, anti-ulcer. This thing was a miracle drug. But it wasn't a drug because it wasn't tested as a drug. And obviously, this was talked about at some point. It's like, oh, it was just the distributors that were doing this. It was the main people that ran the fucking company. So this was like a top-down thing.
Here we fucking go.
Promoting the health benefits of mangosteens.
Oh, it's anti-everything.
Contact information provided at a seminar at which representatives of your firm, David and Joe Morton,
the company of his mother,
designed to recruit distributors to Zango. So the FDA went undercover.
Oh, this is good.
To this big fucking Zango.
Oh my god, look at all of that
presentation.
Okay,
where David
let's
and
wait
Joe
and
Morton,
get to it.
which you can look up.
Wait.
Who made this
company. Is he going to get to it?
Key people, Joe Morton, Gordon Morton. These people are like the top boys of the fucking... They're the Andrew Tate's, the top G's of the company. They would...
Oh, no, Shangu is not his mother's product. I guess his mother owned a company that sold this stuff, but didn't make the product itself.
The ones at this place promoting
this list is fucking insane.
Brochures that said things like you can drink 22 reasons to drink a mangosteen, anti-inflammatory, significantly reduce inflammation in the top.
This is fucking insane. It just cures anything. Wait, I say that about meat though. Am I a scammer? Prevents hardening of the arteries. Anti-inflammatory, significantly reduce inflammation in the body. Targeting neck, back, and knee pain. Oh, that's not how biology works, actually. Anti-Parkinson, anti-Alzheimer, and their forms of dementia. Meat actually does that, but it's not that meat does it. It's that if you have meat, it never happens to you. That's what we should be, not sick. Antidepressant. Prevents bacterial infections, so antibacterial. Prevents and arrests fungus. Viral fighters and prevention of infections, antiviral. Mangosteen has been used for centuries to treat skin disorders such as dermatitis, infections from wounds, ringworm, acne, and so forth. Prevents gum disease. Lowers fevers. Oh, lowers fevers too. Is that a good thing? Eye care. Prevents glaucoma and cataracts, just like meat. Weight loss. Helps and prevents obesity. Crazy, that's just like meat. Lowers blood fat. What? The degree of the lowering of LDL equals or exceeds that obtained with some commercial drug preparations, without the serious side effects of the anti-cholesterol drugs. Anti-tumor benefits. Cancer. Mangosteen helps in the prevention of cancer with its powerful antioxidants. 6 xanthones, according to a preliminary study, were capable of killing cancer cells, I'm sure. Lowers blood pressure. Blood sugar lowering. So that's just 22 reasons to drink mangosteen juice. So that's just it's some fruit, right? And then there's From an introduction to Santones, the thick mangosteen rind is used for treating cystitis, an inflammation of the urinary bladder, dysentery, eczema, fever. Teas of the mangosteen bark. Oh, it's a tree. Or, well, I don't fucking know. Are known for treating genital. Yeah, it's a fruit. Mangosteen. Treating genital and urinary infections as well as stomatitis and inflammation of the mouth. Anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, antifungal, antiviral, anti-cancer, anti-tumor, anti-ulcer, anti-hepatotoxic, is anti-rhinoviral, anti-allergic. It just keeps on going. It just keeps on going.
Targeted neck, back, and knee pain, proven to significantly reduce
It
nerve
doesn't
pain
stop.
as well, anti-Parkinson's, anti-Alzheimer's, and other forms of dementia, prevents and arrests fungus, antifungal, blood sugar lowering, lowers blood fat, eye care, lowers fevers.
The
viral
immediate
fighters,
question
prevents
would
gum
be,
disease, but prevents cancer.
then why aren't
these are
people
things that
actually
they were claiming for the
having
product.
this? And you need an MLM.
They were doing this as a company while Stephen
Why would
was
you
selling
need
this.
marketing?
So was Stephen going to the ward where people were having chemotherapy and being like, right, you've got this fucking terrible thing that's killing you. Buy this juice for $2,000 and you'll be miracle cured. No. Stephen was running a website that had this product on it. And if you look it up, his mother is like featured on the YouTube page of Zango. She's like talking at conferences. Like she's...
Okay, right. So he would just be selling online this stuff that he would be saying that cures or treats or whatever cancer, and that's the extent of it. Does he know it doesn't actually do that? I don't know. Does it really matter? Well, yes, it does fucking matter, of course. If he knows it doesn't actually do the thing, well, yeah, then he's just lying and scamming people. Interesting that I would say the word scam, right? Maybe he did believe it did the thing. Then he's a fucking retard. But what's the difference between this and, I don't know, someone who promotes veganism? I guess this would be more expensive, probably. But they're both gonna fuck you up and waste your money and health. So, well, I don't know.
A big name in this company at that time, which obviously by extension, so is Stephen, because he was working with her and selling the product on the website with her. So Stephen was recruited into this and he sold this thing. Did he do it in the way people are characterizing? No, there is some nuance here, but at the same time, he was selling a thing that pretty much everybody that reads this or looks at this objectively, it's there. I'm showing you. This is the FDA saying this, not me. You know, they were banned.
The FDA wasn't paid for by drug companies and whatever. The FDA, whatever they say, you should do the same as you do with regular toilet paper. You should crumble it up into a little piece of paper that's kind of round and has a large surface area. Bring it to your anus, back, wipe from the front to the back, and have a look to see if there's how much more you're going to have to wipe, right? How much more you're going to have to crumple, and then just drop it in the toilet and go again if there's still a bunch of shit in there. That's what you should do with whatever is written by the FDA. It's complete fucking toilet paper shit.
In Italy by the Antitrust and Consumer Protection Authority because the overly broad health claims as well as possible violations of pyramid scheme laws. This is just a thing that happened. This is the truth. You can't get around this one. And the claim that Stephen wasn't recruiting people, you can go and find posts about this where people have dug it up. My young son came home as a gal who knew him through school, asked to talk to him about Zango. When he met her, there was a guy there who showed him his nice car and watches. He came home, told me about his new opportunity, where he was going to the meeting that week. When he came home from the meeting, he talked about how he could make a lot of money by selling a drink, and he was so excited because they.
This is very interesting, though. This gives a lot of perspective into the whole. Okay, this guy is a rich guy that just went into gaming because he just fuck it, he just likes it. So I never really questioned it or thought about it. Where does he get his money from? Actually, I was like, oh, I wonder where that's from. And now, knowing that it's from this stuff, I'm like, okay. So, because I know how cult-like this whole MLM thing is, because I was in it for a few months, you actually don't really need to be very capable, very smart about it. You don't need very much at all to just make a whole lot of money. Because based on what I've seen, you scam a whole lot of people. You just scam a whole lot of fucking people. If it's a pyramid scheme, and hey, your mom is the owner of the company, she is the peak of the pyramid, and you're just below, yeah, there's gonna be a whole lot funneling up on you. So you're gonna be making a whole lot of money without being very capable of much of anything other than just existing, pretty much. What do you mean, how many did I scam? I didn't scam no one, man. I didn't scam anyone. My cousin also went because I was like, yo, this looks really good. And I guess he would be under me. He would be actually under me. If you want to say that, I scammed my cousin, I guess. He didn't stay for very long. Yeah. That would be it.
Give him a whole area to sign up his friends. He sponsored the little 20-year-old girl that signed him up, was going to take the big city north. I googled it and bingo, it's a scam. I showed him that people had been talking about signing up young college kids, getting them to these meetings and then taking their money right away with some kit. Asked him about the drink and he knew nothing about it, but said he could make $2,000 a week and get a much better car. They really liked him and was going to give him big sales territory. His hometown with all his friends that he could sign up. Wow, what young teenage boy wouldn't take that deal? I called Zango, but they said the kit had already shipped and the money would be taken out of the account, blah, blah, blah. Today he received a welcome letter and 3 sponsor names. Names are listed after their title. Your sponsor, your sponsors, and the upline sponsor, whose name is Stephen J. Sharif. What a pyramid scheme they have going on. The company needs to be shut down. So what an upline is in the multi-level marketing and pyramid scheme world is somebody who recruits people. As evidence of this, you can see in the video I recorded before but never posted, network marketing with 500k Zango, Sharon Sharif. And this is a woman sat there talking about how her and her family had been uplined by Stephen Sharif's mother, Sharon. Thanks to
everyone
Lisa,
is
Sharon,
the recruiter.
Mark,
That's
Tim, and
the whole thing.
Stephen being Stephen Sharif for helping me get back into network marketing and treating it like a business, seeking others who want to learn. This is a thing that was going on. Now, for clarity's sake, when I asked Stephen about him uplining people, aka recruiting them into the multi-level marketing business, Stephen specifically said this: I did not recruit people, never appeared at conventions, never ran recruitment tools, and Zango sales made less than 2% of my net worth. And Stephen says people can dislike MLM's fair criticism, but the narrative that I, quote, sold cancer juice to dying children is malicious and factually false. Obviously, I never made that claim.
That's a complete lie. Everyone recruits at an MLM. Opinion. Everyone.
That being said,
there's no one
Stephen's
that doesn't.
Mother was recruiting people, including him. There's claims of Stephen being the upline. Like
that's just how the companies work. That's the whole
who recruited somebody who recruited
system.
Somebody.
It's
your sponsor.
It's the marketing plan. It's the multi-level marketing. It's the marketing. It's the whole company.
True. Can I go back in time to fucking 2004 or whatever and find these people and talk to them? Probably not. But either way, his family was recruiting people, and there are claims that Stephen was doing so as well. So make of that what you will. When he says he didn't, that being said, that's what people are saying on both sides, and that's what actually happened. Stephen had a website where he sold this thing, and this thing had real problems. Like, this thing was saying things it shouldn't have been saying, that was illegal to say, that the FDA said, you got to fucking stop saying this, otherwise there's going to be big problems. The issue here is that to say Stephen did this really bad thing, you've got to make assumptions.
Interesting
The
edit.
first assumption would be he knew Zango was claiming the product did this thing and then actively played into the false advertisement to push the product to people who were then hoodwinked by the snake oil miracle drug. The second assumption is that he was indeed recruiting people. Again, I personally don't believe Stephen as a personal opinion when he says he didn't, because I've seen
He
video
did.
and heard voice
He did.
recordings of his brother, his
For
mother, recruiting people.
That's just a
as well as
straight
the
up
post I
lie.
showed you
There's
earlier.
0%
It would
chance he
be
didn't.
odd for
The
Stephen.
only people who wouldn't recruit would be people who are on the back end, just like handling like finances. People would be like actually just moving the product like physically, just moving the product from one place to the other, the warehouse to, I don't know, let's say van or something. Everyone else, whoever is in sales, whoever is in anything, will recruit people. That's the whole thing. The entire MLM marketing that's what it is. It's recruiting people much more than it is actually selling. That's what it is.
Even to be recruited to an MLM by his family who recruit people, and then himself not recruit people, despite being such a large part of what makes these people money. Especially since the video I showed you personally thanks him by name, as well as his family members for helping to upline her and her family.
What the fuck is
even
that?
if Stephen wasn't going out of his way to recruit people, he was there as part of the family package when recruitment was ongoing. That being said, I can't say with certain fact he did know about Zango, and I can't say 100% factually he personally recruited people into this predatory business, or
Let's think of it this way. The entire idea behind an MLM is, of course, it's to sell the most product. The strategy by which you do that is by bringing the most people in. So if you want to bring the most people in, what's going to happen? You're going to actively recruit as many as possible. And everyone's going to do that. What else are you going to do? That's the whole thing. You try to sell, obviously, but because it is a pyramid scheme, you actually will benefit more depending on where you are on the pyramid, right? To actually recruit more people for the people than to recruit for you, right? Or them themselves recruiting, and then the other people recruiting more. And then it just keeps on going, and you keep on getting more that way. You will actually, the longer you are in it for, the more people you recruit, the more successful you are at recruiting, the less you have to actually sell. The up end, or like the ceiling, is the greatest at the recruitment part, not at you directly selling to people. That's small fry. How much money was I making? I was making negative money. I was spending more driving my car than I was actually selling. Yeah. It was fucked. It was just fucked. It was fucked because besides the sales that I did make, they kept them, which I don't exactly remember how much each sale would be. I'm getting like the feeling that it would be like 200 to 400 or something each sale. I don't know. I don't remember how many sales they kept from me. I did a solo sale that I remember. I immediately come to mind 2 duo sales that I did that I wasn't paid for. I don't know. And then another thing that they did was they just wouldn't give you clients as well. They would also funnel contacts, like basically people you would go to sell to, they would funnel into some people. So they would steal basically your contacts. They would steal places you would go to and funnel into other people. Yeah, it's a den of scum and witchery. It's terrible. Yeah.
Age, he even knew MLM was predatory. Also, he was a young man who was essentially pulled into this life by his mother. I don't subscribe to the opinion that I can brand somebody as a lifelong piece of shit scammer because they may have done something that I can't definitively prove like 20 years ago. No matter what, obviously MLMs are shitty, they're incredibly shady, and his family is deeply connected to those businesses. But there's simply not enough information out there to make crazy claims like he went out of his way to specifically try to scam people who were dying of cancer. That is fucking insane to say.
That is pretty fucking insane.
Now I guess let's actually talk about Ashes Creation, the game coming to Steam.
But if you are, what is the difference between that? Let's try to be fair. What is actually the difference between that and being so negligent and misinformed that you are actually selling something as if it were actually the cure to cancer, and then it's just not? Because you didn't do your due diligence. Because you just assumed that what you read on that one page in a piece of paper, it was true. What's the difference, actually, morally and ethically, between just actually being a scammer and someone giving you a lot of money to cure their cancer and it just doesn't do that? It's just not a thing that it does at all. What's the difference between you knowing and not knowing? In the grand scheme of things, the same thing happens, right? You still are selling something that doesn't do what is at what it's advertised that it does. It's just the intention, right? Or I don't know if intention would be the word, but it would be something of the sort. So I don't know how much worse it is, really.
For clarity's sake, I don't play Ashes of Creation. I have no fucking interest in playing this game. The reason I have no interest in playing this game is because I followed it for so long and did so much coverage on the game that I just got burnt out on yet another unreleased MMO. Is this even going to release?
I'm not interested in MMOs.
Like, is it ever going to release?
They're all
and
bad
also,
games.
I have a sour taste in my mouth from A, this community, and B, from like the whole drama surrounding the game and some things that they're doing with the game that I absolutely cannot get on board with. I have real problems with the consumer aspect and like the trust aspect of creators and this game and Steven and in general like money that's owed and the narrative surrounding this and what it is. I guess let's be more specific. The big problem I have is, you'll remember Narc, right? Narc kind of went off the deep end, said some things I agree with, said some things I don't agree with, had some good points, had some fucking terrible points, and sort of like torched his goodwill within the Ashes of Creation community, and then vanished to go and hopefully be successful doing something else that makes him happier. Apparently he's doing other YouTube videos now. Good on him. Congratulations. Hopefully that's a better fit than doing Ashes content. But either way, some of the things Narc said, one of the things I absolutely agree with, he said, you can't trust Ashes of Creation creators, content creators. Anyone who makes Ashes of Creation videos, you cannot trust them. I agree with him. Like, and some of my friends make Ashes of Creation videos. And the reason he said this and the reason I agree with him is because Ed Steven disagrees with this. I'll tell you why he disagrees with it in a second. Any video from a content creator talking about Ashes of Creation where they say, use my referral code, you should treat that as if they said, I'm sponsored to make this video. Why should you do that?
Yeah, why?
Not a lot of people know that Ashes of Creation has a monetary kickback in perpetuity for people signing up with their referral code. Not many people know this. I don't know why, because it's on their website. You can just go read it. It's
the same thing. No way.
Code for a content creator, they get tied to their account forever, and then like some percent, I think it's like 15 or something. I'm not going to go and fact check myself.
That's
but it's
crazy.
Some percent of money that person spends on their account forever.
If it's 15%, it's insane.
Books, Intrepid books to the content creator. And that content creator can convert those Intrepid books to real money on a quarterly basis after the game launches, if the game launches. And that's my problem.
Oh my god! The Ashes of Creation creator program is a pyramid scheme! It has all of the fucking little check marks. Oh, that is so fucking incredible. That is so crazy. So it has the whole thing where you sign up a person, then if the person buys something, then you will get a part of it, but not immediately. It's going to be quarterly, right? And it's not directly money. It's going to be, let's call it an Ashes token that then you can convert every 3 months. But only when the game releases. Only when it releases. Now the question becomes, is that going to be December 11th? Or is that going to be when it comes out of early access? Oh my god. I think I may have to follow this one. And we may have to do some digging and some asking around if people are actually going to get paid. That's really interesting to see. But it has all of the check marks, man. It's like all of the boxes for a pyramid scheme. All of it. That's so fucking beautiful. I love this. I absolutely fucking love this. He comes from a history of pyramid scheme and he can't stop.
Creators in general, I don't say this because I'm trying to beef with people. Lazy Peon is a friend of mine. I like Craig. I have no bad words to say about him. I've met him in person multiple times. He's a cool guy. I've had this conversation with him. I've had this conversation with other creators. I hope Canon won't mind me saying, but I had the same conversation with him when he was in content creator programs for some of these Eastern games that he's excited for. And then when he makes a video, people call him a shill and a liar because people see the financial incentive when you're associated with a company to lie or misrepresent or, kid gloves, to pull your punches when criticizing or talking about something, or to just
constantly be called a shill.
It's financially beneficial for you to do so.
No matter what he does.
I used to do these things as well. I worked with Gamigo. They scammed me. I worked with some other companies. I even had an Ashes of Creation referral code that I used very briefly for a few months. But eventually, once I started taking
15 years
my
ago
responsibility, I guess, as a content creator, nobody gives a fuck. Doesn't win you any brownie points. Nobody cares. People are still going to call you a liar and a shill and say you were paid for things anyway.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter other than for me personally. What I realized was that I couldn't give fair, accurate criticism or know that there was no bias subconsciously or whatever without not using these things anymore. So I drew a line in the sand, which was, if I'm going to be paid by a company, I have to say I'm paid by the company because that's legally required.
You have to.
And I can't have any of these behind the scenes connections or affiliate codes for something that I am going to talk about in
that is
a
really cool
manner and try to inform people on.
That's actually cool. So you are legally obligated to specify whether you're sponsored or not on a video or a stream, but you don't have to specify that you are being monetarily rewarded through a referral code you're using. It's just yo, here's my code. Use this code. I get something out of it. You are not legally obligated to say, I will make money based on sales made from you using this referral code. And that is very interesting. That is not the thing that you need to know.
I have an affiliate with GamerSubs. I use their products. I use their products all the fucking time. And I'm not making videos talking about their competitors, right? There's no conflict of interest there. I'm very open with the fact I have an affiliate with them. And I very rarely even massively promote it, 10 seconds at the end of some videos. Never even made of it an ad for them on a main channel video or whatever. But when I know some of these content creators are owed tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, if they make a video saying, let's talk about Ashes of Creation, knowing that they stand to earn large sums of money if people sign up with their thing, which they're only going to do if they're excited for the game.
He said hundreds of thousands.
That is going to give somebody a slanted perspective or bias, which is the same thing you have when a company pays you money to...
He said hundreds of thousands. That is crazy. But that just goes to show just how powerful pyramid schemes are. Just is it that? Imagine that is just hundreds of thousands that he's mentioning here for the creator, right? Now imagine how much advertising this actually was, right? For Ashes by just this one creator, right? And not just advertising and just like throwing awareness, just showing the product, never that, everything like that. It was sales. This guy made sales happen. His marketing, his advertising resulted in sales worth hundreds of thousands for the creator. And that's 15% of what the whole sale is. So, big boy, what was his name? I forget the name of the guy of Ashes, the big boss. He's making the rest of that money. So imagine how much that is. Just one creator. Steven. Yes, from Minecraft.
Play their game or present their game in some way. It's just the case. You know, it is what it is. Plus, you're not going to come in and like start fucking swinging your hands like trying to knock out Stephen J. Sharif when you know he owes you so much money, because you know what if he
Steve
doesn't give you the
Sharif.
money. So that's where I agree with Narc. The content creator program is a problem. If you're watching creators that have these codes, you should treat it as if it's like a sponsored puff piece, because it kind of has the same fucking attachments, right? The financial attachments and the biases. But that's not my big problem, because I don't watch those videos. I don't really care. And other than people should probably be informed that this is a thing. My problem is that a lot of those content creators signed up for this thing when they thought the game was going to be releasing in like 2 years' time. And a lot of them are owed money that is deflating in value. If you were owed $10 5 years ago, does that $10 have the same spending power?
God, just imagine. Imagine how long ago that has started. These people have hundreds of thousands just waiting right in there. God, this screams everything pyramid scheme. Hundreds of thousands, you can't withdraw. But of course, Steve Sharif, he's benefiting from it already, obviously. He doesn't have any clause like that the game has to release that he can use the money. But these guys are having to wait all of these fucking years to be able to get the money. That is absolute fucking scum. That is just scum and scam. And we're gonna have to see whether the clause is actually that the game fully releases out of early access, or if it's going to be the Steam early access release. Hey, at this point, my opinion is ain't no way these motherfuckers gonna be seeing any money, man. Ain't no fucking way.
We'll do in 3 or 4 or 5 years when this game releases. No. And also, what's saying that the game even ever releases? What's saying that the Steam Early Access launch isn't Steven's way of being like, oh, it's released now? Again, let's talk about that in a minute, because it kind of fucking is. That's kind of what this is, in a way.
Oh, God.
And what should be looked at, by the way, if you fucking...
Let's see.
If you want to hold people accountable
this is gonna
for
be
something
good.
that is consistent. But my problem is, the only thing preventing Steven from paying out these people is the fact that he said to me he will refund everybody if the game doesn't launch. Which is like, I don't believe you, bro. Like, I've heard so many people say so much ridiculous shit in this industry.
No, you
over
won't.
the last 5 years doing YouTube. I don't believe it's in Kickstarter, by the way. He says it in the Kickstarter,
No,
at the
you
very
won't.
bottom. And finally, in the case that Ashes of Creation does not launch, we promise to refund all backers in full. Now, I don't know.
You can't afford it.
I've not asked it.
And I'm not sure there's even a way to actually do it.
Or something at this point.
No, you won't.
I don't know whether this means he's going to refund only the Kickstarter people, which would be how many millions of dollars? $3.2 million. Or if he's going to refund everyone who bought packages on the website, who is then now going to buy on Steam. Is he going to refund all these people out of his own pocket if the game doesn't reach 1.0? Because if he doesn't,
if it doesn't launch, yeah. But it is launching now.
Going to
hey, it's launching right now, bro.
Only sold because the content creators sold it. Right?
But it isn't actually launching for the creator, for the purposes of creator
pockets. Content creator makes video.
program.
Person signs up with their link. Person spends
Maybe
money.
it's different.
money goes from their account to Stephen J. Sharif's bank account for Ashes of Creation, the company, for Intrepid Studios. Content creator is owed the money. Content creator never gets the money. This is my problem. So a lot of these content creators, some of them are dead. Some of them no longer make content. Some of them could really use the money.
Hey man, let's start a sale.
Not worth what it was when they earned it.
Jesus,
and
man.
Steven is the arbiter of when the game releases, but then also he says he won't release the funds to the content creators until like the next quarter after release, like 1 quarter later. So in that quarter, if the game doesn't do well, if he ever says the game's 1.0,
by the way, Twitch does something like that too.
Like, I don't know, bro. There's a bunch of shit around.
Just a little bit of an aside. Twitch, you have to make a certain amount of money on Twitch before you are paid. It's 50 euros, at least for me. And it's on like the 12th of every month or something. So for like tiny creators that just don't get very much at all, they may just never get paid. You may get like a few subs or something. How much would it be 10 subs? Let's just make up that 10 subs is €2 each. So that would be 20. It would be that 3 months of that to eventually get paid, right? And instead of just allowing you to just withdraw at any time, every month at least. Kick, as far as I've seen on my dashboard, I think you can just withdraw any amount that you have every month. Just, just a little bit of a...
On this that I just don't like. He could pay people out if he wanted to. He's not going to. He said he's not going to. He said the reason he's not going to is because he's going to refund everyone if it doesn't release.
Twitch still doesn't make any money on small streamers.
He said you wouldn't get it till 1.0.
The cost of broadcast is just
change his mind.
Vastly outweighs anything
that nobody's going to care about. People are going to say, "Oh, you just want money that you're owed." I've said for them to delete the money that they owe me. I don't give a fuck. I've not used it in years. Couldn't care less. Not talking about this for my sake. Talking about it for the sake of other people that aren't going to bring this up because they're owed a bunch of money. And I think that's unfair personally. But, nobody's going to care because big content creator doesn't get money that they're owed. Oh, woe is me. Like, obviously, the community isn't going to give a fuck about this in general. For the record, Stephen did get back to me while I was waiting to upload this video, so I figured I'd drop in an edit. He did say, and I'll quote here, while the statement was made specifically during Kickstarter and is specific to that audience, meaning people
only
who backed on Kickstarter would get a refund if the game didn't launch, according to Stephen. If by some chance Ashes did not come to release, refunds would be considered for all backers. I would note that the game is very far along and the likelihood of not releasing is slim to none. So what he's saying is that everyone who backed on Kickstarter is guaranteed a refund, and that
they've announced the launch
date on Steam now. Who backed on the website and of
doesn't
course
matter
through
anymore.
Steam if the game was to not release. As I'm saying this, Nemo's screaming in the background, so I don't think she believes it either. But this is what he's saying, so there you go. Now, obviously,
the early access is going to be considered the launch for the purpose of that
we know this. That's
promise.
Why it's coming to early access. That's why this game is saying don't buy this unless you want to test the game. The game's still in alpha, blah, blah, blah. But the problem is this game is going to operate as if it's a released game, as if this is a live launch of a product. How do we know this? Well, because they've confirmed that, number one, they're lowering the price, by the way. According to this anyway, this shows that
it's going to be more expensive.
$49.99 on Steam. There's going to be 1 month game time included. When the game launches, if the game launches, they're going to have a sale from the 11th to the 25th for 15% off, so you can get it for the low price of $42.99 for the unfinished, maybe never finished MMO. And also, they're going to have a rotated cosmetic.
€50
store.
is the discounted price.
This alpha,
or $50, I guess,
for a game that was kickstarted fucking 8 years.
With
when
the
was
sub.
This was kickstarted in 2017. So
oh my
8
fucking
years
god!
ago, this game was kickstarted, and now they're going to early access for $40, and we'll have a cash shop in the game for an alpha early access game. This is a released product, guys.
8 years.
This is the launch of
early
the game.
access alpha.
You can disagree with me. You can say, "Oh, it's still an alpha," because they're saying it's an alpha. The minute you start selling the game for a box price with fucking a cosmetic cash shop built into the game that they're going to be editing and adding to, you've released a live service game. its launch. That's it. Like, no more kid gloves, no more, oh, it's an alpha, guys. This is a launched game. I'm very comfortable saying that. You can completely disagree with me, but this is functioning like a launched product would do. Only when it's fully finished, then you've got to pay a sub as well. Like, so just more monetization. It's just an extra step of monetization that marks it being released, other than more content, obviously.
I hate this monetization.
Presumably. I don't know why they're doing this. As far as I can tell, they're not struggling for money because the company isn't laying off employees. They're not like downsizing. They appear to still be hiring. So I don't know if they're doing this because of like marketing or whatever, but I've been told they're doing it because they want more testers, which makes no fucking sense. I said this last time. They said, oh, we're selling the alpha now for fucking $100 or $125 or whatever it was. And
Only
they're doing
that?
it now because they want more testers.
Well, damn.
And my point was like, if
What
you
a
want more
bargain.
testers, fucking open the game up for free and you will get more testers.
Oh.
And I was told ad nauseum, repeatedly by
That's
fans.
crazy.
What
What are you saying? That makes no sense.
That
What?
opening the game up for free would be bad because the cheaper the game is, the more likely you get bad testers or testers that won't commit
course.
to the game.
Yes.
But now they're selling the game for $40
More testers
with a
bad.
cash shop. And these apparently, for much less money, are not going to be lower quality testers. I don't understand. Like, there's a lot of contradictions here. There's a lot of things that don't make sense. That being said, this is going to be a nightmare. Like, this game is going to get absolutely fucked into the ground by negative reviews.
Yes, it will.
So, because it's an alpha for a game
Yes, it
that's
will.
been in
And
development
thank
for
fucking God for that.
8+ years. Charging money that for like a AAA game almost.
It's
Obviously,
going
a
to
lot of
make
AAA games
Dune
now, like
Awakening
$60,
look like a brilliant
but then
masterpiece.
also with a cosmetic cash shop and
I
a completely
can't
unfinished
fucking
game,
wait.
It's absolutely not ready for mass market gameplay. And I think this is going to hurt the project long term because people are going to, rightfully so, put a lot of negative reviews on this and talk about it being a scam. And people are then going to look it up and they're going to see comments like this calling Stephen Sharif a fucking snake oil salesman scammer. And I think it's going to be bad. And you can tell it's going to be bad because even in the Ashes of Creation community, people are upset about this. The predominant, like, prevailing sentiment is, what the fuck are they doing? Like, why are they doing this? Is there money problems?
Oh
Are they
no,
trying
if
to, like,
even the
hoodwink
simps
people?
are
They're trying to get
mad.
the New World
Oh,
population here to
they
earn
messed
some
up
extra
as hell.
cheddar. What's going on?
Oh,
Because
no.
the game's absolutely not ready. Like, if the fans of the game, these are the biggest hardcore fans of the game, are saying this, it's a problem. And it seems like one that's kind of popped up out of nowhere. Like, people only found out about this in the studio.
If you thought
apparently,
Final Fantasy 14 fans were
people
rabid,
saying they're out of money, this is one last cash grab.
Oh, you don't know about Ashes?
I think they are, and always have, by the way. Steven is a shrewd businessman. I said this years ago. I didn't like the taste in my mouth when Steven was like, there was a big conversation around MMOs being dead and dying and games being cancelled.
He's not talking
and
about
the genre's in a bad spot. And then Steven showed up and started going on the live stream of every big content creator and saying all the right things and getting a bunch of people hyped and involved in the game. He was on Asmongold stream, Shroud stream, Summit stream. Like, he was talking to all these creators and getting this massive hype train rolling for a game that people shouldn't be hyped for until much later in development. Like, people shouldn't have been giving this game $500 for alpha keys.
God, how much money have they made?
Many thousands of dollars of cosmetics for this game that's not finished yet. This is not a thing people should have been doing, in my opinion, in my mind. Especially because Steven said,
I really wonder.
I'm fully funding the project myself 100%. I don't even need your money. And yet goes out of his way to sell a bunch of like FOMO cosmetics and now a cash shop in a fucking unreleased game on well, technically released and in my mind completely. I'm going to treat this game as if it's done, by the way. Like, I'm going to cover the game when it goes onto early access on Steam, and I'm going to treat it like a fully released game. Why am I going to do that? Because it fucking is at this stage. If you're, again, if you're selling cosmetics in your live service game, I'm
it's just like
your game as
PoE
it's done,
2.
and I'm going to review it.
It's early access,
the fucking kid gloves of,
it's
still an
released.
alpha.
It is.
No, it's a paid product that you're charging people for that you're monetizing.
GGG does say, we're treating it as a full release.
There's 1,000,001 problems with this, and I stopped covering this game because I'm so not arsed with following something for fucking 8+ years. And it's still like 3, 4, 5 years away from being finished, in my opinion, if it ever even gets there. And I know for a
Yeah.
fact Stephen takes this
I
type of
agree
criticism to
with that
heart and he
timeline.
doesn't like it, and I agree with him. It's not nice, right? When people make videos like this, when people on social media are talking about you like this. I think the timing of releasing this on Steam is probably to capitalize on the New World stuff and all the recent MMO cancellations to make money. I think that's what he's doing personally, but you know, I think this is going to backfire. But obviously,
It is
people
not
are
that
going
many
to think I have
people
some kind of
playing
like
New
beef with
World.
Steven. I don't like
But-
Steven. I think he's a piece of shit or whatever else. Or I don't like the game. I hate the game.
I don't know.
I don't care about any of this shit. None of this is personal for me. I don't even dislike Steven. I've spoke to Steven
I do now.
numerous times over the years.
Now I
but
dislike
absolutely
Steve.
have no fucking personal beef with anybody involved in this.
He's a
at all.
fucking
I will say
scam
Steven
artist,
is going
man.
to take a lot of this to heart, and this is going to be very negative for him and people on the team, which is unfortunate. It always sucks being me. Like, oh, woe is me again. But it always sucks having like some kind of personal interaction with these human beings and knowing that they're humans and interfacing with them. Sounds like a very human thing to say, right?
But I have evidence right here, right now, that he was in active recruitment of other people in that company. I have evidence right here, right now. Are you ready? According to him, he has fuck you money to such an extent that he can fully finance an MMO development from scratch for over 8 years, and he doesn't need anyone's money to keep on funding it. That's how much fuck you money he has. Now tell me, what the fuck is he doing in that company that can make him that much money? And also remember all of the comments about him, being the recruiter of someone, right? Is that you? What would you be doing? I'm sure you could be doing stuff. I'm sure, but the entire company is about pyramid scheme. That's how you make the money. That's the marketing strategy. It's pyramid scheme. It's just not called pyramid scheme. It has a different name. There is no chance in my mind, or like a 1% chance, something like that, that he was not recruiting people. I really can't see how it would otherwise be. That's it.
Like interfacing with the human beings and then making videos like this, knowing full well this is going to hurt.
It's
Like
not by
hearing
making
this is gonna
direct
hurt,
sales,
the
that's for
backlash from
sure.
this, the response from this is going to hurt those real humans that
You're not going to be selling
have some
enough
form of
juices
connection
to be making
and
that
I know
much.
Steven at the moment is not doing super well with criticism, because you can see here.
Oh,
A lot of
he's
armchair
losing it.
Developers going
Wait,
on here
crash
with the
out?
full embrace of Dunning-Kruger effect to boot. I get people are not happy with their expectations of phase 3. Blah blah blah. What I want to highlight is
Oh
somebody
my God, he's so
prominent in the community
salty.
responded to him and said, "Brother,
What a
let's not
shit
forget
fucking
it's your first
response.
time doing this with all."
There's no chance anyone would say a lot of armchair development going on in here with full embrace of the Dunning-Kruger effect to boot. God, he thinks he's so much better than everyone else. Everyone else is so annoying to him. Look at that. Armchair development. Dunning-Kruger. A full embrace of the Dunning-Kruger. He's not only saying you don't know what you're talking about, you're annoying that you're telling at us what to do, you're stupid and you think you're smart. Because that's what Dunning-Kruger is. Is when someone thinks they're way smarter than they actually are. That one sentence, it just is like a black hole. A nice tightly packed, box of just spite. I can only guess this is the people that have given him hundreds of monies. I assume this Discord would be probably private, right? I mean, what would it be? It's just feedback that would be from people playing. That's what I assume, but it could be something else. Oh, that's a bitter man. That just damn. That's juicy.
Due respect, you are in fact still learning, and while we are here with you on it, you can't come at people like that especially in your own Discord. You, not us, chose the open development model. Love heart.
God, I am rooting for the downfall of this now. I was
years ago would have been met with
hoping for their best, but now
like, yeah, you're right.
All changed.
Steven banned this guy and responded, "I can actually love heart," and banned him from the server for what he just posted. He did get unbanned, and the guy said all matters were settled. Blah blah blah. Grace was extended in both directions. We moved forward amicably. But you can tell, like, this wouldn't have happened years ago, and Steven is probably getting bogged down in the you know, the weight of the community, so to speak, especially with now people turning on him. And this is obvious because a lot of the content creators that started covering Ashes, they're all gone.
By the way, this guy, who is surely a big fan of Ashes, this game is nowhere near ready to be in early access on Steam. We are in alpha, not beta. The game is going to be destroyed on Steam, and rightfully so. It shouldn't be sold yet. Not Milo22. Tell me, how did you get into the game to test it? It was sold to you. Just saying.
Their exit videos saying essentially "fuck Ashes," we're done. The game is doing X, Y, and Z wrong. Don't agree with these decisions, and moved on. A lot of them are just not around anymore, and this will continue to happen. This is what's happening in the community with players as well. And years of this is going to get you down. I know this because I've fucking dealt with it as a YouTuber for 5 years. It's not for everybody. And in fact, even the most fucking robust of personalities will absolutely be impacted by this. But having said that, with the game releasing on Steam, expect for this and what you're experiencing, the negativity within the community, the negativity to personally Steven, is going to magnify by 1,000-fold.
Oh,
this is not going to release.
It's not going to be 1,000-fold.
This is not going to release to a bunch of people.
It's going to have a few more zeros.
Oh, I've looked at this. It's a very nuanced topic, and here's my balanced opinion as an adult. They're going to come in. They're going to say, "What the fuck have I just paid for? This is dog shit. Oh my god, it's a scam. Why? It's an MMO. I can't get my." Another thing, by the way, they're going to be using Steam's refund policy for this game. So previously, if you bought Ashes of Creation, you could get a very reasonable refund for the game after testing enough of an MMORPG, an unfinished MMORPG.
2 hours of playing.
But they're going to be using the Steam one if you buy on Steam. So some fucking Timmy is going to load up Steam and be like, "Oh, new MMORPG. I've just quit New World because New World's fucked and closing down. I'll buy this. Oh, it's a bit rough early, but you know, it's an MMO. I've got to play at least 50 hours to figure out whether or not I like it." And then they're going to get like 5 or 6 hours.
I did not need 50 hours for a Where Winds Meet.
It's fucking unfinished. There's not enough content. I don't like the game. Go to get a refund.
Also, they need 50 hours for Blue Protocol.
$40+. They're going to open it up and look at the cash shop and see all the skins for an unfinished game. Then they're going to Google Ashes of Creation. Who makes Ashes of Creation? Look at the social media posts. Oh, Stephen J. Sharif. He's a scammer. He's this. He's that. He's the biggest piece of shit in the world. This is all going to go badly. I've seen this a million times. This is exactly what's going to happen. It's a bad idea. The amount of short-term money you're going to get from this is absolutely not going to fucking compensate for the amount of negativity that's going to come from this, in my opinion. Could be totally wrong, but yeah, that's my whole opinion on this. I don't think I've got anything left to say, to be honest. I could go check my notes, but yeah, I think we'll leave it there. I'm sure some of the fucking more diehard Enclave of the Ashes of Creation cultists are going to come and do what they usually do on this one. But for people who actually think I'm not like some kind of evil hater liar about Ashes and I hate Steven or blah, blah, blah.
Should read the comments for sure.
About the game. I've not thought Ashes was the second coming of Jesus Christ like people have been saying for years. If the game comes out and it does well, cool. If it doesn't, I thought it was going to be a complete scam like Star Citizen. I don't care.
And very recently I was like, wait, they actually have been developing. And graphically, for example, it looks good.
This years ago, like in like 2021, 2022, maybe even before that. When this game releases on Steam, I will absolutely make a review video. I'll play the game. I'll give it all the fucking... I'll go in with an open mind,
minus 50 euros,
and I'll really try my best to be objective about it and look at the game for what it is. But who knows? Maybe the game's much better than I've been led to believe, and I'm going to come out and say, oh, actually, if it gets much better than this, it'll be amazing. But it's already great, and it's already worth the box price right now. And actually, the cosmetics in the cash shop are fine. This is all okay for an unreleased game. I doubt it, but there we go. Overall, this comes down to a simple question at the
I
end
also
of it.
really doubt it.
Is Ashes of Creation a scam?
Very recently, they've been developing.
There's tons of people working at the company being paid.
They just didn't have the game, the actual game. They've just been developing the fundamentals.
All the bad things on that people
Their
say
entire
on social
zones
media,
completely
that still
missing.
wouldn't make
It was
the game suddenly turn into a scam.
Were the towns
But
functional?
I do feel like it's important to point out.
Was there
I don't like a lot of what
actual
Steven
content?
does with Ashes. I think it makes no sense at all.
I don't
when
think
Steven
there
claims
was.
They don't need money. It's totally funded, and then at every turn try to nickel and dime the community with FOMO cosmetics and hundreds of dollars on alpha and beta access. I think Steven tried to cash in on the Battle Royale hype with Apocalypse all those years ago. Then he's now trying to cash in on the heat death of the MMORPG world with this Steam release. I don't think the overall
What the
development
fuck have
of the
they
game
been
is a
doing for
scam,
like
as
10
many
years,
people on
by the
social
way?
media do. Nor do I think Steven's the worst person on the planet who did all
Whenever I
these horrible
see
things,
Ashes
because
of Creation,
we simply can't know
I just see
unless
wilderness.
There's some evidence out there I'm unaware of. I do
What the
understand
fuck have they
people
been
don't
doing for
trust him
10
because of
years?
his days in an MLM and his family's background. That's a reasonable opinion.
We see
But there are
a video
plenty
like
of
this.
things to actually criticize Ashes and
They're
Steven
hitting
for
one mob.
that
Like,
have
it's a
nothing to do with
fucking
his past and
fungus.
everything
It's
to
a
do with the
mushroom.
game currently, after so many years
This
of
is what they have
development,
to show
the rhetoric
after
around
10
game
years.
funding, the constant selling of stuff in an unreleased game, the content creator program, and much, much more. Thanks for watching as always, guys.
no
Hopefully you
way-
enjoyed the video.
There's
Oh yeah, check
no
out my
chance.
affiliate Gamer Subs. You
This
can go
changes
buy
everything,
some
actually.
waifu-inspired merch or some gamer powder, stick it in a drink.
That they are going to release it now on Steam. Just straight up, I'm also gonna say this is a full release. I will say it too. If you're releasing it like this on Steam, there's going to be when you buy it, you're gonna have 1 month of subscription included in the $50 or euros, whatever. And then after that, you have to pay for a sub to continue playing. And there's going to be a cash shop with mounts and cosmetics or whatever. That's a full release game. And what they have to show for their like 10 years of development is what we've been seeing. I was thinking okay, actually it's not going to be a scam. They are actually doing things. If they're releasing it like this now, I'm going back on that. There's no fucking way this is not a fucking scam. And then you might say, okay, come on, that's not being fair. Are you just gonna say like that a game that is not good and doesn't have as much content as you want is a scam? Okay, true. That is true. But holy shit, what does it feel like? It feels like they're just yoinking our money. That's what it feels like. When you're putting out something like that, it feels like they're just yoinking the freaking money. That's what it feels like. The logical argument would be, no, they're just incompetent. But it feels like a freaking scam, doesn't it? Damn. Okay, let's read some of the comments for him. Ashes of Donations, good one. Let's see. Are there gonna be Ash fans in here shitting on him? Let's see. Wait, Battle Royale? That Battle Royale was Peak Ash's comedy. Wait, where's that? Is there going to be €100? That was a big discount, right? Damn, there's no haters. Before TNL. If they released this plan before TNL. Because before TNL I waited them. Oh, I see. I see what he meant. There's no haters actually. They ain't here. Does that mean that there's just, you know, there's just no fans of Ashes now, or what? Nah, come on, that's not gonna be the case. Oh, wait. After playing Where Winds Meet for most of the weekend, it's crazy to think that not once was I ever pushed to spend money. I don't want to finish reading the sentence.